Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Abid Rida Babil, and today I will teach you module 3 of GSCH 101, that is chemical bonding. In this module we will learn the types of bond and how to draw the Lewis structure. So let us come to the beginning of the lesson, that is the valence electron. To learn about the valence electron, let me teach you some electronic configuration and show you how to write the valence electron or how to calculate the valence electron. See, for example, here we take the sodium. Sodium have 11 electrons, total 11 electrons. So if we write the configuration, it will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. So in this case total 11 electrons are there and 3 shells are there. Shell number 1, that is called K shell. This is K, it is complete. And shell number 2, it is also complete and it is called L shell. But the last one have only 1 electron, that is called outermost shell, and it is also called valence shell, and it's called valence electron or valence shell. So let me write it here for you to remember. Valence shell, this is valence shell, and inside there is 1 electron, that is called valence electron. These are called inner shells and inner electrons. Usually in bonding, only the valence shell, valence electrons take part in the chemical bonding. The inner electrons do not take part in the bonding. Okay, let's take another example, that is chlorine. Chlorine atom have 17 electrons. So the configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p5. So here again, if we see similarly here, this is K shell, this is complete, and L shell, this is also complete. So we have the last shell, that is M, and it have 7 electrons. Here it have 7 electrons, totals 5 plus 2, 7 electrons are in the valence shell. So if we write the Lewis dot symbol, I will tell you now. The sodium, it have, to show this valence electron we put 1 dot here. So this is called Lewis dot symbol. And to show the valence electron of the chlorine, we write the symbol of chlorine and draw 7 dots around the chlorine atom. So in this way, these are called valence electrons, 7 dots around the chlorine. So it will show you the Lewis symbol. Okay, now if you see here in the chlorine there are 7 electrons. If it get 1 electron, then shell will be complete. And in the case of sodium, it have only 1 electron. So either it loses 1 electron to get the previous shell complete, or if it possible to take 7 more electrons to complete 8 also here. But getting 7 electrons is very difficult. So what it will do, it will lose this electron. This electron will jump from the sodium to the chlorine. So chlorine will get this atom, this electron, so it will become negative, and this will become 8. So if we write here the sodium, if loses 1 electron, it becomes sodium positive. that is called cation, and one electron is loss. and the chlorine, if we write the chlorine atom gets one electron, so one electron it takes and become chloride ion, that is anion. So then this sodium will be attracted by this negative chloride and sodium chloride will be formed. So this is the method of bonding, that is called ionic bond. But main point here which I wanted to show you is that if you write the electronic configuration, the complete shells which are inside are called inner shells and the electrons will be called inner electron. The last shell which might be incomplete, that will call valence. And here these are the valence shell, 7 electrons in the valence shell of the chlorine. So now come to the lesson, then you will see, you will understand easily. The valence electron are the outermost shell of the electrons. Okay, so valence electrons are that in the participate in the chemical bonding. Only valence electron will participate in the chemical bonding. Inner electrons will not take part in the chemical bonding. You see this last electron jump from to the last shell of chlorine. This inner shell or inner electrons will not take part in the chemical bonding. Now similarly, if we see the periodic table, when we calculate the sodium, this is the sodium, and we said here it have only one electron in the valence shell. Okay, and when we calculate the chlorine, this is the chlorine here, it shows us that it have 7 electron in the outermost shell. So if we calculate for all the members of the period, then it will be here in the alkali earth metal there will be 2 electrons in the valence shell. For this all alkaline earth metal group, 2 electrons, and for the boron family, all the boron members will have 3 electrons in the outermost shell. And we calculate the carbon, then it will be 4 electrons in the outermost shell. For nitrogen it will be 5, sorry, this is 5 electron, and it will be 6 for the oxygen, 7 we already calculated for the fluorine group, and complete 8 will be there in the noble gases group. So 8 means complete. Okay, and these elements will not take part in the chemical reaction. They do not make any bond, they remain neutral. That's why it is called noble gas elements. So now we come here. So if you see, this is group 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like this, and this is the same group here. There are 2 types of writing the groups. One is that we write 1 2 and then include this D block and continue and we reach to the 18. This is one method of writing the group. Another method is that we say 7A, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, 8A. This is more convenient for us to see the number of valence electron in the outermost shell. So here in this periodic table it shows that group 1 to 7A will have 1 to 7 number of valence electron. This valence electron in the outermost shell, this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 I showed you here. This is same numbers. These are the number of valence electron. Okay, and this is the chart which calculated here. This is the calculation to show these numbers 1 to 7. Okay, and now we come to the Lewis dot symbol. Lewis dot symbol is simply the chemical symbol around it, or the surrounded by the dots. Dot means points. Points represent the valence electron. Point will represent valence electron. As I show you in this lesson here, I put 1 dot over the sodium, so 1 valence electron is here. I put 7 dots around the chlorine, so they have 7 valence electron, and also show you here in the periodic table this 7. So if you see here some examples, lithium will have 1 electron, 1 dot, beryllium will have 2 dots, boron have 3 dots, carbon have 4 dots, and this is the open electronic configuration. You can count from here. Also this 2 and 1 3, 2 and 2 4. Similarly neon will have complete 6 plus 2, this is 8. So 8 electrons are shown outside the neon symbol. So it is a simple way of writing symbol again, and outside the symbol we show the valence electron in this fashion. It is not compulsory to write in this fashion. In this way you can change the methods. Like this, carbon have each side 1 electron, boron have 3 dots here like this, and these are the count to show how many electrons are there. So this is the method, the way to write the Lewis dot symbol, and simply just you have to see in the periodic table, just see periodic table, and this all have 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots like this. Helium have this exception, helium is exception, it is smaller, so it have only 2 dots, but remaining all members have 8 dots, and this is called octet. They have complete noble gas configuration. They do not take part in the chemical reaction. So now there is one rule that is called octet. Octet means 8. So 8 electrons in the outermost shell means it is completely filled and it do not need to take part in the chemical reaction. It do not make any bond. So this is here the noble gas 8, 8 and 8. So all the atoms try, 10 means try to lose, gain or share in the to make the bonds, to make the reaction, to complete the 8 electrons, to satisfy and to get the stabilized. So octet rule says that all the atoms try to get 8 electrons in the outermost shell to satisfy all the electrons, to stabilize, the energy will be minimized and stability will be there. So the octet rule. Then types of bond. Ionic bond. Ionic bond, I already showed you that when an electron transfer from cation to anion transfer, then it is called ionic bond. Okay. So same here, when the lithium, this electron will transfer from lithium to the fluorine here, this, so lithium will be complete 8 electrons. So this, to say there's a neon configuration, so this is called ionic bond. So ionic bond is the electrostatic force between the cation and anion, or we can say it is formed by the transfer of electron. The element which lose the electron will be, the process will be called oxidation, and the gaining of electron will call the reduction. And when this positive and negative combines, then it will call the overall reaction and the ionic compound will be formed, lithium fluoride. This is the color of compound. So in the covalent bond we just do not transfer but the sharing of the electrons, between the two atoms. So now here the fluorine have 7 electrons, this another atom of fluorine also have the 7 electrons, so it have one vacancy here, and this atom also have one vacancy here, so they will do the sharing. So this is the shared pair of electrons, so this will form a single bond. If you see the configuration here, also it shows you one electron is empty here, one orbital is empty here, one electron is missing, so they will form the sharing of the electron, then it is called single covalent bond, because one electron is shared by each fluorine atom, so it is called single bond. When two bonds are shared between, suppose see here, carbon and oxygen are sharing 2 electrons from each side, then it will be called double bond. And another example, when the nitrogen is sharing 3 electrons from each side of the nitrogen, then it will be called triple bond. This is triple bond here shown by the 3 lines. So covalent bond can be single bond, double bond and triple bond. This is the famous example of water. Oxygen and hydrogen combine to make water, 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogens, because oxygen needs 2 electrons. You see here it needs 2 electrons to complete the octet, so it will pair or bond with 2 hydrogen atoms, different hydrogen atoms, so it will make water. 1 hydrogen will share this electron from here to here, another hydrogen will share electron from here to here, and this will make single bond with each hydrogen atom. The water will be formed. So these were the types of 2 types of bond. Ionic bond by the transfer of electron, this is ionic bond by the transfer of electron, and covalent bond by the sharing of electron, single bond, double bond and the triple bond. Then comes the electronegativity, and because of the electronegativity we will see there will be 2 types of covalent bond. So electronegativity is simply the ability of an atom to attract the shared pair of electron from the bonding. So see here the example of the electronegativity, or let me teach you here the simple way here. Yeah, electronegativity. Suppose the bond is formed between hydrogen and the chlorine. So hydrogen have one proton in the atom, hydrogen have one proton in the nucleus and one electron outside the nucleus, that is in the orbit. So only one electron is there in the hydrogen, but the chlorine has 17 protons and maybe it have 18 neutrons. So the nucleus is little bit heavy, it have 17 protons, so it will have orbitals outside the nucleus, and the last shell will contain 7 electrons. Let me show you. This is 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, and this will be the 7th electron. 7 electrons you see here. This chlorine 7, a group means 7 electrons are here. So hydrogen have 1, so what will happen? This electron will share by the hydrogen and chlorine, and this will come in the chlorine atom, and it will revolve most of the time around the chlorine, and sometime it will go to the hydrogen because hydrogen is small and it have only one proton. Most of the time it will remain with the chlorine. Here one electron of the chlorine, it also will be shared, but most of the time it will remain with the chlorine, and very little time it will go to the hydrogen atom. So most of the time the electrons remain around the chlorine atom. So this will create a charge. So chlorine will be partially negative charge and hydrogen will be partially positive charge. This is called polarity. Polarity in the covalent bond. So this bond is polar because electrons density will be higher around the chlorine than the hydrogen, means the electron will spend more time around the chlorine than the hydrogen atom. So it will show up polars. The side at which the electron will remain more time will become negative, and the side at which the electron will spend less time will become partially positive. So let me show you by this diagram. This is the diagram here. So this between the hydrogen and fluorine. Instead of chlorine, is took the fluorine. So this one dot he didn't show you here. So one dot is here, and this electron will be shared by this fluorine, and one electron here will be shared by the hydrogen and fluorine. So the same shape will come here. So this will be in partially negative pole, and this will be partially positive pole. And how we will know? That is the calculation, the electronegativity. That is in this periodic table, it shows you the electronegativity of an atom like this way. So if you see the electronegativity, the minimum electronegativity is the cesium or francium here, 0.7, and maximum electronegativity is with the fluorine. So on the upper right hand side, it is the most electronegative element. On the lower left hand side is the least electronegative element, and this you can see here in the original periodic table. So this is the electronegativity. This is the electronegativity. The number which is on the left hand side at the bottom, this is the electronegativity in the periodic table. Okay. So you have to see this electronegativity, and what you do, just take the difference of electronegativity and calculate the difference of electronegativity. See here the bond between hydrogen and fluorine. So we see how much is the electronegativity of the hydrogen, that is 2.1, that we take from the periodic table. This is the periodic table. Hydrogen have 2.1, and fluorine have 4 electronegativity. This also comes from the periodic table. This is the 4 electronegativity here for the fluorine. So 2.1 minus 4, it is 1.9. We don't put here minus sign or plus sign with this difference of electronegativity. This is just difference of electronegativity, 1.9. So then we see the rules. There are 3 rules. Number 1 rule, if the difference of electronegativity is 0, if it is 0, then bond is called non-polar, or there will be no pole. And when the difference of electronegativity is between 0.1 to 2, then bond is called polar. Okay, or just we can say polar bond. When the difference of electronegativity is more than 2, then bond will be ionic. And for the ionic, there will be a metal in the molecule that I will show you. See here this the calculation 2.1 minus 4, the answer could be minus 1.9, but we don't use minus and plus here, just the numbers. Okay, the main thing is that to remember the rules of to decide which one is ionic, which one is polar. In the ionic bond, let me tell you again this here, one thing which I forget to tell you, the ionic bond is formed between the metal and non-metal. The lithium is metal and fluorine is non-metal. So I will write here, this is metal. Ionic bond is formed, usually bond between metal and this is non-metal. So in case of ionic bond, without calculation, if you want to know either it is ionic or no, then you have to see this element, the first element. If it is ionic, if it is metal, you see these are the metal. All the elements which is on the left hand side of this red line are called metals, and if these metals are present in the molecule, then it is called ionic. And then if you do the calculation, the answer will be more than 2. So this is also one of the method to calculate by calculation and to write the answer. So 3 types of bond we learn: ionic, non-polar and the polar. So now let's do some exercise to learn the calculation. So he is asking you classify this bond between the ionic, polar and non-polar. You forget to write here non-polar covalent bond. So this bond is HCl. So if we write this here again, H and the bond between H and Cl. So if we see the electronegativity, it is 2.1 from the periodic table, and minus for the chlorine, let me see the for hydrogen it is 2.1, and for the chlorine it is 3. For the chlorine it is 3. So 2.1 minus 3, the answer will be 0.9. Don't use the plus or minus. 0.9. So we see the rule. The rule says here, if the difference of electronegativity between 0.1 to 2, then bond will be the polar. The bond will be polar. So the answer is here to write this is polar. So sometimes they ask you to write the calculation, sometimes they ask you to write directly the type of bond, that is the polar. So see the K and F, potassium and fluoride, fluorine, potassium fluoride. So let's see how much is the electronegativity of potassium. So this is the potassium here, it is 0.8. So 0.8, 0.8 minus 4, fluorine is 4, I remember it. So this will be how much? 3.2. Highly electronegative, highly polar 3.2. So 3.2, yes, 3.2. So this is again, this is more than 2. So it will be ionic. It will be ionic. Another thing, this is potassium. This potassium is a metal. Potassium is a metal. So without calculation, we can say this is ionic. Let's see here. The potassium is in the metal. All these are metal. So it is already ionic. But we show the calculation to prove it. Now in this bond, in this part C, he is asking the bond between carbon and carbon. So this is question here, carbon and carbon. So let me write here. The video is becoming longer, but let me finish this. Carbon and carbon. So how much is the electronegativity of carbon? Let's see here. Carbon have 2.5. So both are same. Answer will be definitely 0. So 2.5 minus 2.5 minus 2.5 is equal to 0. So this is called non-polar. Non-polar according to the rule. Non-polar. So the simple way, when bond between the same atoms, it will be non-polar. Now see the practice exercise, the cesium and chlorine. So cesium, let me write here, cesium, the bond and the chlorine. So how much is the cesium and chlorine? Cesium here, this is 0.7 and chlorine is here 3. 0.7 minus 3. So this will be here 0.7 minus 3. So this will be how much? 2.3, I think. 2.3. So this is more than 2. So this will be ionic. This is the calculation. But if you see the cesium, this is metal, heavy metal. So this is already ionic. But we show the calculation here. It is between the hydrogen and sulfur. So how much is the hydrogen? Let me see again. 2.1, I think. Yeah, hydrogen is 2.1. Yeah, hydrogen is 2.1, and the sulfur is 2.5. 2.1 minus 2.5. So 2.1 minus 2.5 is equal to 0.4. So it is polar, slightly polar. Polar covalent, you can write complete polar covalent bond. And here again same case between nitrogen and nitrogen. So we have to just see how much is the electronegativity of nitrogen. Nitrogen is 3 here. So 3 minus 3 is 0. It is very simple, but you have to write the answer. In the exam, the thing is that you write the answer. So nitrogen bonding with the nitrogen. So 3 minus 3, again it is equal to 0. If the answer is 0, then bond is called non-polar. So the exercise is complete. I hope you understand. Already I took long time. So here let me tell you the last thing, that two types of questions can come. One question that write the Lewis dot symbol. So Lewis dot symbol, it is complete chart is given here. You can see this complete chart. From here you can write directly the answer, or you will memorize it, that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 electron. So this one question, write the Lewis dot symbol. The other question can be there, that differentiate between the ionic and covalent. So ionic bond is by the transfer of electron between metal and non-metal, and covalent bond is by sharing of electron between non-metal and non-metal. There is no metal here. Okay, and also by the calculation you show that which one is ionic, which one is covalent, which one is polar, which one is non-polar. So this is the end of your lesson. I hope you understand all this thing. Okay, bye.